Welcome to Unmasking with Heather Diane, where we are peeling back the layers of trauma to rediscover self, and we are unmasking pain and reclaiming our peace. Rooted in truth, unmasking through the seasons of healing. Unmasking and healing from trauma is never truly finished. It's a season, a cycle, a journey of shedding, rooting, and growing. When I think about what it means to heal, I no longer visual a straight and narrow path. I picture a tree, massive and strong. This image first came to me when I read a story about how the people in your life can be compared to the parts of your tree, and what they bring, joy or pain, determines what part of the tree they represent. For most of my life, I wore masks, shaped by survival and the perfectionism of masking ADHD, and the mimicry of masking autism, and the hypervigilance from trauma. These masks kept me safe. They provided me with what I thought I needed to be accepted and loved. But they also taught me to disconnect from myself and from my needs and from the people who might have truly loved me as I was. I spent much of my life trying to be who others expected me to be, pleasing them instead of living authentically. When I began unmasking and doing the work in therapy, one of the first things I had to unpack was my leaves, those beautiful dopamine-producing relationships that were only in my life for a brief moment. Some of these people claimed, perhaps even believed, that they understood and loved me. But as I removed the masks, we discovered that they only loved the masked versions of me. They rejected me and disliked me as I healed and revealed myself. These people believe the best version of me is when I am performing, acting, or presenting the polished versions, masks, of myself to the world. They become uncomfortable with my truth and want me to stop, even revert. But as I peel off the masks and start to live in truth, I discover a whole new way of living my life. No longer weighed down by a million disguises. My leaf people could only see themselves and what they fear losing. They focus only on their discomfort, their needs and beliefs, rather than seeing me. At first, it was deeply hurting, this rejection of me, realizing that their affection and love was conditional, was pivotal. I was fighting for relationships that required me to pretend and act, conform, to keep masking. Regardless of my love for them, I can no longer live in dishonesty and pain. I've been given ultimatums, change back or lose them. With some of my leaf people, I have had to set boundaries to stop their negativity and narrow perspectives from impacting my life. This is one of the most difficult parts of healing and unmasking. Once you feel true, authentic self-love, you can't go back. Well, let me rephrase that. I won't go back. Because once you've experienced love and life in a new and healthy way, there's no returning. I remind my students and clients and friends and children, sometimes people are like leaves. Each autumn they change their colors. Some connections dry up and become brittle. Let them. Let them fall away from your beautiful, thriving life. At first I panicked. The mere thought of losing any leaves made me want to glue them all back onto the branches. After a lifetime of masking, living in truth felt unfamiliar. Many of my leaf people choose to focus on my shortcomings and my faults. They thought I was too much, too sensitive, too different, and not all that special. In the beginning, their power over me was overwhelming. And after years of believing my worth was tied to how others perceived me, it's hard to put my needs first. I had been taught that doing this was selfish and that being kind meant valuing others over myself. But I have since learned that the best way to love others is to truly love and know yourself. By gently letting my leaf people fall and learning to let them, I've found new people who see me, hear me, disability and all, and love me. Let me learn from my trees, my forest. Trees do not mourn the leaves that no longer serve them. They let them go so they can survive the winter and renew themselves in the spring. I have to let go of the pain, the past, the masks, so I can thrive in my truth. In that shedding, I found something stronger, my branch people. Branches are the people in your life, the family members, the friends, the partners, or professionals who offer some sort of a form of connection, comfort, stability. And when you're carrying hidden pain, masked neurodivergence, or a history of abuse and survival, these relationships are often built around a version of you that was acceptable, pleasing, or convenient. As you begin to unmask and heal, you're no longer that curated, controllable, contained version of yourself. You start asking for more space, more honesty, more truth. And you begin to discover and implement boundaries to support your healing. Living in truth becomes addictive in the best ways. Some branches can't hold the weight of your truth. They bend, resist, and sometimes they snap. Many branch people feel the need to control the narrative, the perceptions, and sometimes even people, including you. As you begin to face yourself, your past, and your pain, your truth rises with powerful force. It's fueled by love, both for yourself and for others. Some branch people are threatened by the removal of masks. Maybe they liked you more with the one on. Maybe they are afraid of losing you. So then they try to control you, widening the distance between you until it feels like the Grand Canyon. Regardless of their reasons, once you begin doing the work and revealing your true, authentic self, there is simply no going back. Your branch people have two options. They can choose to stay and grow with you, learning about your masks, your trauma, and in my case, my disabilities, in order to love you in the most meaningful ways. These people believe you are worth the effort and worthy of their love. Or they can dig in their heels, refuse to learn or grow, and increase the conditions for rules around receiving their loves. This doesn't mean that they're bad people. Most simply lack the emotional maturity, nervous system regulation, or the willingness to meet you where you are. That realization can be deeply painful, especially when it's family or long-term friends. But grieving these relationships is part of your growth. We cannot make ourselves small so others can feel safe. Everyone must develop these skills for themselves. And if you didn't learn them during childhood, it will take real effort. Retraining your thoughts and behavior patterns is not easy, but healing is work. And as you grow, you discover that your tree no longer bends and breaks just to survive. You're reaching out in new directions, ones that honor your truth and nurtures your soul. Not everyone can, will, or should grow with you. Root people. My root people are the ones who stayed, who saw me messy and masked and everything in between and said, I see you, and I love you, and I always have. Sometimes they are old friends and family. My husband, children, besties, and a few members of my family of origin have shown me the power of true unconditional love and taught me that I'm not only worthy of this, I was always entitled to it. These are my root people, my peeps, the ones who love me best. Sometimes the connections are new people I would never have met if I hadn't dared to unmask. I'll write about speaking my truth moments in a future post and how they led me to the most incredible connections. What amazes me most is how these people come from entirely different corners of my life. Some are from online communities of the neurodivergent individuals, others from trauma-aware support groups, and some are CPTSD survivors, or they too are members of the lost generation. They feel like home to me because they are healing and unmasking too. These new connections have, quite honestly, saved my life. Love and loyalty in root people run deep. My root people aren't shaken by my sensory overload, emotions, volume, energy, or my silences. They don't require explanations when I cancel plans. They already understand why. They don't flinch when I stim, spiral, or say I'm not okay. They hold space for me and my big feelings, reminding me not only will it be okay, but I'm okay, dysregulated, anxious, sensitive, and all. Through healing and masking, I have learned that just like real trees, I don't need an endless number of branches and leaves to thrive. I need deep, authentic connections that reach below the surface, relationships that are real and authentic, rooted firmly in the ground. These people don't let you be pushed or pulled down by others or by yourself. The tree metaphor reminds me that growth doesn't always look like blooming, lush beauty. Sometimes it looks like standing firm and still while everything and everyone falls away. It means honoring your exhaustion and overwhelm through the harsh winter, trusting that spring will come. It's tending to the unforeseen wounds and trauma buried deep within. Watering and caring for your tree is the same as practicing self-love and compassion. Let's not forget about the seeds and saplings, the new connections, hopes, and possibilities. These are the early stage relationships, new friends, healing bonds, or even parts of yourself you're just beginning to understand and nurture. Like freshly planted seeds, they need gentleness, patience, and light. Some will grow into roots, grounding, supportive, and enduring. Others will become like branches. Some will break, while others will stay strong and grow. And some people in your life are simply leaves or saplings, and they may only be with you for a brief moment. But even short-lived relationships can be beautiful and soul-touching. These moments were only meant to be in your season, here to teach you something essential before falling away. I think autumn leaves are stunning, nature's art. Finding value and lessons in people who cross your path, whether the experience is positive or painful, is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. And just as a tree needs rich soil to grow and produce roots, so does your healing journey. Like young trees growing into their strong, deep-rooted selves, unmasking allows for personal growth that is both vulnerable and powerful. You don't rush a tree into maturity or demand it grow faster. You simply show up, water what matters, and let nature take its course. Healing from past trauma and a lifetime of masking takes time. Some connections may never become a part of your forest, but every leaf can still teach you something. You just have to be open to the lesson.
To keep reading or listening, consider buying me a cup of coffee for $5 a month and become a paid subscriber, a new supportive friend. Healing deserves depth, and depth takes support. Become a paid subscriber to continue unmasking with me. Access my full weekly posts with an audio option and help keep this safe, validating space alive. Your support helps sustain this work for you, for me, and for every soul who's healing and still finding their voice. And if this is where you leave today, I thank you for taking the time to connect with one of my stories of unmasking, and I truly hope to see you again soon. Take care and keep going. Everybody has a story. This has been Unmasking with Heather Diane.